Imagine you're a new player starting FFBE and you see the Dark Visions button, but you can't even enter it until rank 50. So you look at Reddit and you kind of find out that this is the end game content that experienced players are playing. So there's no way that you're going to be ready for it anytime soon, right? Well, that's what I thought when I started FFBE, and because I didn't do enough research into Dark Visions, I didn't realize how easy it could be for new players to clear. And because of this, I missed out on a ton of rewards, and I don't want the same thing to happen to you. So this video, I'm going to talk all about Dark Visions and how you can begin your path to getting some of the strongest weapons in FFBE. In Dark Visions, the aim is to take on a series of bosses that are weak to specific elements and either physical or magical damage, sometimes even both. This content lets you use 6 of your own units, and you cannot use dupes. As you beat these bosses, you're going to aim for a high score, and then that's going to help you earn some rewards. So before we talk about that scoring, we're going to talk about the rewards. Dark Vision has the typical completion rewards that you can earn every single time. The most important reward, Dark Matter, comes early at the 520,000 point mark. It means that new players can realistically earn this pretty easily. There's also ranking rewards where you can earn even more Dark Matter depending on how highly you rank in the Dark Visions event. Now, this Dark Matter is used to not only buy recipes to craft the super powerful gear, but then to upgrade it consecutively to make it more and more powerful. So if you're curious, where do you spend the Dark Matter that you're earning from Dark Visions? Well, you're going to go to the Vortex, and in the top right of the screen, there is the exchange button. You click on that, and you're going to the Mog King's Castle. Now, this little guy with the spear and the shield, we're going to go right over to him, the Moogle Guard Captain. How you doing, buddy? And you can see that there's the Dark Ragnarok exchange and the Dark Gambantine exchange. Those are 2 of the weapons. The Dark Gambantine is the rod, and that's actually what I'm building right now. So this is, you buy the weapon initially, and then you start buying all the recipes in order to upgrade it. So you can see I have 180 Dark Matter up here. I've bought all the way up to the 7-star Dark G here, and I've got 3 more recipes to build until I get to the very end there. Now, if I want to see more, I can actually go ahead and go back out of this menu, and I'll be able to scroll through different weapons. So I can go next right there, and it's going to show me the Dark Massimune, the Gandiva, the Rising Sun, and we have so many different weapons available, and they've added some more in JP if they're not already added here now, which I think they have been. So for example, I think that this spear here, this is one of the newest additions to the Dark Visions weapon set, and one that I'm super interested in getting now since I have Sky, and I think it'd be really cool to have this Dark Visions spear. Let's take a look at the rewards within Dark Visions. So we can click on the rewards button in the top right of the screen there, and then here are the completion rewards. So you can see that once we get about halfway up the list here, 520,000, there's your last Dark Matter, and after that point there's some good stuff. There's a Transcension Pearl, but otherwise it's not really key to upgrading your weapons. Then with the ranking rewards, while they look really great up high here, you can see that even if you rank, let's say in the top 5,000 to 10,000, you're still getting 400 Dark Matter, which is a lot. So this is definitely attainable for for newer players, maybe not like someone that started this week, but if you were someone that started during FF7, then you can already be doing this, and the proof is already out there. A player on my Discord just started recently and is already capping Dark Vision stages and is ranked in the top 2,000. So it's definitely something that's possible for anybody. All right, let's take a look at scoring next, and there are several parameters on which you will be scored when completing a Dark Visions fight. So if you clear the quest, you will just get points. That doesn't change. If it's done, if it's dead, you get the points. You also want to do as much damage as possible, and if you can hit the damage cap, the maximum amount of damage that the boss can take, you'll get the maximum amount of points that you can score for that boss. Also, if you take damage, then you will lose points. So a lot of these missions, you try to do them in one turn, or try to build an evade tank or something so that you don't take any sort of damage at all. Also, the number of units that die on your side will affect your score, and then hopefully that's just 0. And then number of effective attacks is kind of interesting. So basically you want to attack with an element that the boss is weak to. So these bosses already have weaknesses, but if you imperil an element and then attack them with that element, then your effective attack score will go up. So just be keeping in mind, if you have a one-hit finisher like Sephiroth and you're doing like one dark attack, but your chainers aren't doing dark damage, then you're probably not going to be hitting that effective score. So it's better to imbue the whole party whenever possible. And then we have max chain, and this is where you want to chain at least 100 times during the fight. And there is a very simple way to do this, which I'll explain to you in just a little bit. But if you get 100 chain and then beat the boss, then you can get the max score here as well. And you don't have to do that in the same turn. So you could do like a 100 chain early in the fight, and then on the kill turn, maybe you're just using a tag chainer to not chain as high, but still get your max score to get the modifier for your finisher. So every Dark Visions, there's going to be 2 stages released every second day. So for example, here we have these physical domain of lightning and the physical and magical domain of earth. And then if we go up higher, there was 2 more that were released, 2 more that were released, and then the EX stages, which are 3 harder stages here. And the final boss typically doesn't have a specific weakness to physical or magic damage or to any element. You get to bring on your own team and do the best that you can to try to score as highly as you can. So I'm just going to show you real quick how easy it is to beat these first stages. So if you're a new player and you're thinking, I'm not trying to do a high score, I'm just trying to, win the darn thing, that's going to be so much easier than you think it is. So for example, I'm just going to go into this fight, and I have, some units that are geared for specific things, but I'm not even going to do much. I'm just going to use Aerith, who we all got her Brave Shift LB, and that's going to kill the boss. So I just beat the Dark Visions boss. They're not hard to beat. So beating them is not a problem. And if you beat them, you get points. You can unlock the next one. You can go fight all of them. You can earn a bunch of completion rewards. And that is something that a new player can do. Okay, you can all beat a fight. Now, capping the fight, getting as many points as possible, that's the art of Dark Visions. And I'll show you how that's going to work right now. So we have several units in the game that can provide a very specific type of chaining, and that is the ARSRSR chain. So Elena, who we all got for free recently, or you could use your tickets on your 5-star select tickets, she can use Blade of Dawn, which is an AR chaining ability, and then Blade of Heavens, which is an SR chaining ability. And we're going to go 1 of the AR and 2 of the SR. And then with Assassin Shadow, who we also got for free recently, he can also use an AR attack and then 2 SR attacks. So if we chain these 2 units together, it is going to equal exactly 100 chain. Now with Sylvie is another very important 5-star unit that everybody can get eventually, use your tickets on, and she is incredibly powerful. So what we're going to do with her is we're going to use all eggs in one basket, which is a LB fill and an LB damage boost. It's just a very powerful buff. And then we'll just use Hop into Battle, which is an attack magic buff, and Hop to the Rescue, which is the defense spirit buff. And we're going to use that on our Neo Vision Terra. So Terra's all ready to go. She can use her Chaotic Inferno, which is her 1-hit LB. And with Aerith, we are going to go ahead and we're just going to use her Ardent Prayer. So remember that this is going to give fire attack to everybody. It's going to boost up their fire damage, and it's also going to give an attack magic defense spirit boost. So that's going to be a nice little amp for all of our damage. And then with Gilgamesh, well, with him, he's another, again, very useful 5-star unit, and he can also be upgraded into a Neo Vision form. And what he has in his kit is an 85% full break, but he can also use, for example, this Secret Sword Art Excalibur is a 130% light imperil. He has a 130% dark imperil, and he also has a every other element 120% imperil. So we're going to go ahead and use our imperil, and we're going to break the boss, and then he can do that. So now at this point, the boss is broken. The boss has the element imperiled. We're entirely buffed up, ready to go, and we can try to beat this boss in one hit. We're going to try to do the maximum amount of damage. We're going to try to get the 100 chain score, and then we're also going to try to get as many effective attacks as we can. So we can hit our Terra LB and we'll do our chain, and you see that the chain is just going to keep on going all the way up to 100. And there is the kill. So something to keep in mind is that if you use on these weaker bosses an AoE SR attack to cap your chain, to be the end of your chain, if you use an AoE attack and the boss dies from the chaining damage, the chain will actually stop short. So if you are using a different SR unit to do that AR, SR, SR chain, then just make sure that it's not an AoE SR ability if the boss is dying too quickly. So we can take a look at what happened here. We got a perfect score. We could not score any higher than that. We got our quest cleared, we got the max damage. Look at that biggest chain, we got the perfect score there. Effective attacks because everybody was attacking with the fire elements. So that is your basic strategy, and you can do this with other units as well. Now, I have to do a quick shout out to Tiki Master on my Discord, who shared this strategy with Terra with me, and to use the AR, SR, SR chain. So Tiki Master, thank you so much for helping me and other people on the Discord out. I'd like to quickly talk about this formation screen because there's a ton of different parties here. You can see I have 2 fire parties here, 2 ice parties, 2 lightning, and then if we hit this button that's right by the party number or sign there, then it goes over to the other elements. And you can notice it says boost light damage 20%, but if I go over to the dark party, you can see it says boost dark damage 20%. And you want to make sure that you're deploying with the party that you're attacking with, like the element that you want to hit with. If you're trying to hit with wind damage, then you want to use the wind party, not the fire party, because then you're not going to get a wind damage multiplier. So definitely pay attention to which party you are forming, and luckily we have the favorite equipment update now, so that's going to make it all the more easier. And you can see this is the same type of party that I was using before, except I'm using Venera as a dark amplifier. I'm still using Sylvie as my LB damage fill, and I'm still using my same 2 chainers, my same breaker, but I'm doing dark damage with this party, specifically dark physical damage. Now another unit that's very, very useful if you have them is Edward and Alphonse Elric, and part of the reason for that is that they just have so many ways to imbue different elements. So he can imbue fire, water, lightning, and earth, so he can really help out and amp up a lot of different people. But there's also tons of different 7-star units, so units like Conch or Poppy, and also Sylvie. Sylvie can imbue a bunch of elements, so you can kind of fill out, whatever unit you have that does lots of damage. So for example, again, Edward Elric, if we take a look at him and Alphonse, you can see with their Brave Shift form, they're going to be doing a big modifier here, so 14,500 2-hit modifier that is non-elemental. There's no element there, which means we can put whatever element we want on there. He's best with earth, but we can put whatever we want on there, and we can do some serious damage. I was actually using Shadow Lord NVA from Final Fantasy XI as my finisher, and I was capping all the stages just the same. So don't think that you need Terra for this. She's gonna make it the easiest that you can, to do all this stuff, especially because with Terra, you don't have to gear for killers because she's doing evoke damage. And if that doesn't make sense to you, don't worry about it. We'll talk about that another time. But basically, the key takeaway here is that if you're a brand new player, you get to rank 50, is that you can come in and you can clear all these stages at the very, very least. And then from there, you just start working on ranking or getting your score up as high as you possibly can. That's going to be it for this video, and I hope that it was useful for you. If it was, then please let me know in the comments below. And if you have any suggestions, if you're a veteran player, then please also share those. If you're looking for content to find out how to do the best possible clear on Dark Visions, there are other YouTubers that do that, namely Sinzar makes incredible guides on how to cap these stages. This was meant to be just an introduction to Dark Visions, telling you what it's all about and encouraging new players to go out and play Dark Visions, because maybe you're like me and you're just scared by this end game seeming thing and there's no way I could be ready for it, right? Well, wrong. So if you also want help with dark visions, you can hop on the Mysidia Gaming Discord, and in our FFBE channel and also our FFBE help channel, you can ask all the questions you want, and people like Tiki Master are going to be there and myself as well to help you out.